And welcome back
to another episode of the Not So Perfect Podcast. I know you're seeing this from a different angle today. Our selfie stick is MIA, so we are makeshifting this. So
Not So Perfect around here.
Hey,
but
we're starting off the podcast just to reemphasize that we're not perfect.
Yes, but we do it, and Matt helps me be consistent. And here we are, and what a great podcast we had last week.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a busy week since then. I feel like it seems like it's been a whole other month.
Yeah, it feels like it was last month we filmed that.
Yeah, but no, just kind of picking up where we left off there. Anything that you took from last week that you've been kind of sitting on or
my
thinking
mom
on?
was very proud of our conversation and what we talked about and we discussed.
And what reason? For what was her
she liked
thoughts?
our stories. She liked how important it was to how you show up at home every day, when you get home, when you're at home.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. Linda was talking about it. Linda liked to shout out.
I told her she got some shout outs. Like, oh boy.
Yeah,
Just
definitely wrote it into the weekend. And there was another podcast I was watching, Dr. John DeMartini. Have you ever heard of DeMartini? Brilliant guy, but
I've heard of the last part of that last name.
just the Martini part. It's easy to remember now.
I'm more familiar with those.
Easy to remember
John.
now. But he has this exercise he does when he's in big conferences, and it's like, all right, here's our we're gonna try this, and he makes everybody write down from 1 to 10. 1 to 10, write down from 1 to 10, get a piece of paper, 1 to 10, and pretend I'm going to hand you $10 million cash. I'm gonna hand you $10 million cash, Matt. You have your list of 10.
Is that before or after taxes?
Just cash. Just cash.
Okay.
And now he said, close your eyes and think for a minute. What are you going to do with that $10 million? And then after that minute, okay, now come write it down. So everybody's writing down 1 through 10, writing down cars, homes, vacations, and then he goes, pass it to you, the person to your right or left. They pass it around and they talk about it. And then everybody reads it out loud. And it was pretty much like, here's the reason why you are poor. And you will always be poor. Because this is what you value. You're keeping up with the Joneses. You're valuing what other people are saying about you. You're valuing pictures that you're going to post on social media to show off.
Yeah.
To make this image of things instead of investing in assets and making that money go to work. Like you said, like, all right, I got to prepare for taxes. So I really know I'm only going to get 4.5 million and all that stuff. So the whole podcast was about values. So I would like to kind of attack that today.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If we're going to talk values, what was your top 10?
Well,
what was your top 5? Or
I think about it all the time.
Whatever you're willing to discuss.
And I always think about it all the time. If I were to win the lottery, so the first one would be like, obviously buy into a bank, right? Here's the cash. Hey, Central Bank, you want to work with me? Hey, Sullivan Bank, you want to work with me? I need to be on this bank board. I'm bringing you $10 million cash. We'll figure out the rest later.
Right.
So that's the smart move, to turn that 10 into 20, 30, 40, whatever. And then obviously pay the debts to be debt free. And then start buying, I think it was start the kids' trust funds, and then really start buying the commercial businesses I want to, the commercial real estate's empire that I want to have one day.
I love it. Yeah, so if I were going to fill out that list, I think first thing I would do
Before knowing what you value, like, what would you write in first?
Well, so like, again, everything that I come from, like, I'm just lucky that everything happened to me when it did. Like, I got sober in 2019. If I had not gotten sober until 2021 and had to go through COVID, still drinking and doing all the things I was doing. So again, I was very fortunate when I got sober, when that hit me. It was 2019, so by the time I got sober and out of rehab and all that stuff, it was close to early 2020. So I was back at work, had a routine, was kind of in a better space. So like when we got our stimulus checks, I know people that were buying fucking lottery tickets and shit like that. I was still trying to dig myself out of the financial hole. So every stimulus check the government gave me went to credit card debt, went to paying lawyers, went to paying debt. So I was lucky to be in that place. So like from that point on, like that's where I don't look to get a new car. I'm not looking to get a newer house or bigger house or anything like that. It's always how can I make my life easier? Well, if I have one less house payment, or if I have one less, car payment, or whatever it might be, that to me is financial freedom. That's the freedom I'm looking for. I'm looking to be no mortgage, no car payments, no, all the stuff that we stress and struggle with. So for me, it would be get out of debt. So pay off my mortgage, pay off my truck payment, any other outstanding credit cards or whatever. I'd get all those knocked out, which I've got that a lot more manageable now than what it used to be. Be maxed out all the time, where I'd have to pay like $70 here so I can,
and
spend another.
interest.
It's so
It's
backwards.
$80 interest, but you're only paying 70.
Yeah, but this is me being an idiot back in the day before I even thought, further than my nose. So it would be my debt, and then after that, then I would put money aside or after I did that. Then I would be probably finding family members, immediate family, brother, mom, dad, whatever. Like, hey, what debt do we have that needs to be paid off? Gone. So for me, it would just be keeping my close, my foxhole people healthy, debt-free. And then after that, then, my idea of what I would really like to see downtown fitness as, in a full, this whole building type of something or other, then we'd be going down that route. But I think the other thing I'd be trying to do is trying to figure out a way and just get people way smarter than me in healthcare, medicine, therapy, all the different aspects of it, and figure out how to turn like a downtown fitness into a one-stop shop for fitness, both mentally, physically, spiritually, AA oriented, any kind of NAAA, any kind of like groups that are just going to be support groups. Have it just in a one-stop shop, where the gym is on the main floor, the meeting rooms are upstairs, or, just have a one-stop shop where you can do red light, cold plunging, all the different therapies they have, the fitness aspect of it, the weights, the gym, the equipment, the cardio stuff, all that. And then also just, again, the support outlets, where we can have a doctor in-house, we can have a therapist in-house, we can have, everybody's under one roof. So it's not like, okay, well, good to talk to you. Drive across town, go see Bill, because a lot of people in those situations, transportation's not something we take for granted. Not everybody has that luxury or having a reliable source of transportation. So that would be the big things I would want to work on, is just, try and beautify everything around me, so put my friends in a better place financially, put my family in a better place financially, put me in a better place financially. Because again, if at the end of the month I don't owe anything to anybody, that sounds pretty free to me.
Win.
That sounds free. Win. So that's where my top 10 would go.
Cool. And then that's really asking that question at any age, like, what do you value? What are you valuing now?
Yeah. How's that Lamborghini going to benefit you in 20 years from now?
And
whatever.
Yeah. And on my end of things, I could have bought the sports car, because me being dumb a couple years ago, I could have bought a sports car and had that and financed it. But
and a boat.
I chose the boat instead, because I was like, instead of 2 people, we could put 12 people, and then we can bring everybody with us. So later down the line, maybe we'll get a bigger boat if it's 20 people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Later down the line.
But again, you can live very much within your means without living extravagant.
Because of what you value.
Yes.
Because of what you value. So what were you valuing before 2019?
Oh, man. Well, alcohol obviously was the top of that list, is what I valued, whether I knew it consciously or not. I looked at women as trophies as opposed to people. So that was something that really, getting sober and just kind of analyzing how I lived my life, that was a hard part to really swallow, just because, these are people.
Yeah.
And not just people, but a lot of them were good people, that didn't deserve that. But anytime push came to shove, I'd always choose alcohol over them. So, those are the things I used to value. I wanted to be wearing the suit and the tie every day. I wanted to look special and important. I wanted to be driving the Escalade or the Mercedes or the BMW. I wanted all the stuff that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what would make me happy. And the harder I worked towards that stuff, the further I got away from happiness. So that's just my story. I don't know if that applies to everybody, but it's like the harder I was trying to keep up with those Joneses, the further I was falling back. And in that I got more miserable with myself, my life, where I was, where I ended up. So yeah, that's what I valued before. Not good stuff, not healthy stuff. At the time I thought it was, and after gaining another trophy, AKA / a woman, it'd be fun for a couple days, and then that shiny object isn't so shiny after, you spend time with it and you want to be around it more. So that was probably the hardest thing for me to overcome, was just how I treated people.
Yeah.
Not just women, but a lot of good ones I hurt, but friends, guys, girls, didn't matter, family, friends.
Because there was never no judgment or emotion from alcohol. It just took care of you.
Yeah, I could always lean to it. Yeah.
I was leaning
It'd never bitch at me for being late or being slow or groggy or hungover or none of that. It'd be right next to me every minute I spent next to the toilet, just throwing up for 12 hours straight, Always take me back.
You could always count on it.
Yeah, no complaints, no arguments, no bitching at me for any of it. But it didn't lead me anywhere good. I'll say that.
But there's a lot of this podcast, other podcasts that can help you line out those values, and always, because lining that up can really set you up for success in any way you think you're successful. Like we took our dog for a walk this morning. That's successful.
Yeah.
You took your dog for a walk this morning. That's successful. You were able to shower in your own house and the water bill is paid. That's successful.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people struggling with all sorts of things, things we all take for granted, It's not just being in the United States. It's some things we take for granted in the United States that other countries just don't have. You could be a prime example.
Yeah. Take
on
6
that,
deep breaths in a row. That's success. Because success has been, this culture has been told, we've been told, Hollywood has told us.
Yeah.
It's the Escalade, it's the suit, it's the house, it's the pools, it's the boats, it's the yachts, red carpet. And what are all those people? How do all those people end up?
Yeah, well, and it's just, honestly, it's just programming from a young age. All the things we see, it's all about the shiny thing and the, the thing that you got to work really hard to buy to be happy. And it's just kind of framing that. And it's not saying that you shouldn't work hard. It's not saying that you shouldn't work hard to make a good living. The thing is just what you're going to do with that hard work. Are you going to spend all that hard work to buy something shiny that's fun for a week, and then you're buyer's remorsing yourself every day after that? First time you take the boat out, you had a blast, and then the first time you got your first scuff on it, you'll never forget about it because you didn't sleep all night because you just stood at the ceiling thinking about that fucking scrape that's in the, I get it, because guess what? There's a reason why I never won a boat, because I had a dad that had a boat, and guess what? Everything could go great, and then just one little scuff. Boy, oh boy.
Everybody was getting
I wanted nothing to do with that, and I'll tell this story. I don't think I've told this story on the podcast before. If I have, it's been a while, but I remember I was in high school. I think I was a senior in high school, and my dad had a Harley whenever I was growing up, and he was just constantly buying chrome and more chrome and just all the accessories and stuff, bells and whistles. And that was his little pride and joy. That was his project, his baby. He worked on it all the time, wiped it with a diaper all the time. Well, anyways, there was one Friday night where I was getting ready to leave, go out for the night, meet up with some buddies or whatever, and probably do too much drinking and do all that stuff. But anyways, I was getting ready to leave the house, and my dad's like, hey, can you help me load this Harley up on the trailer? I need to take it up to Columbia to get something installed in it tomorrow. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So we both get it up there, and once we get it up there, he takes the straps and he's strapping it down, so I'm just kind of holding it so it doesn't, wobble one way or the other. So we get one side strapped, and then I hop on the other side, he gets on the other side, and he starts strapping down the other side. Well, he's strapping it down, and once you have one side strapped, like, I'm really not doing much. I'm just putting my hands on the seat just to whatever. Well, anyways, he just kept snapping it. Well, he had to get one more ratchet snapped down. Well, that strap snapped, and there's a metal piece that runs the line through it. Well, that came off and took a pinhole size chunk out of the paint. Well, think of Newton's laws of gravity here. Any action has an opposite and equal reaction. So I'm going from like here to Atlas trying to push the world up a hill. So I'm like down in like a full lunge position, and this bike is just falling and falling and falling on me basically. And I remember my dad being so mad. You would think, oh, he's mad because his son's about to get crushed by this Harley Davidson. Nope, that was not the concern at all. It was, you better not let that bike fall or I'm gonna kick your ass. So in that instance, my full retard rage goes 100%, and I push this fucking bike up, and I'm literally just. I was like, F you, F this bike, and don't you ever ask me for help with this goddamn thing ever again. F you, I'm out of here. And I ran out and just peeled out of the driveway and all that. So anyways, those are things that I just want nothing, like if that can make somebody so angry or so happy or so in just the snap of a finger, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't have any interest in it. That doesn't excite me. I don't care how shiny it is. No, I don't want it.
Learn that lesson. That's early trauma.
So those are things that I just don't want anything to do with. I got a neighbor that's been trying to sell me his fishing boat for the last 10 years. I want nothing. I don't need, now I got to figure out where I'm going to put a boat. Now I'm going to have to rent no, I don't want any of that. I don't need it. I
property taxes,
I wouldn't use
permits,
it enough to justify it. I don't fish enough. None of it. So anyways, those are, I had early on things in my life. They're like, nope, nope. Come on, it'll be fun. Nope.
Good job. Great job, Mr. Chin.
You have
Matt
fun
early.
I'll be right here. So that was my moment where it's like, okay. Now, not saying I did that with everything, but specific things.
Taxes is hard enough to deal with anyways.
Well, and again, a lot of those things people don't think about until after the fact, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They work it into their budget about the sales tax or the licensing or the permitting or the trailer.
Yeah.
License that, property tax on that. So there's just always stuff going on and on.
Yes. So choose assets over liabilities.
Yeah.
It's always... it's hard to learn that lesson, but however you're going to learn it.
Well, I fell on my face 1,000 times before I figured it out. So it's not like it's something that I got right the first time. I can't say that much about any part of my life, you know? But yes, outside of that, on another note, I did get our checks sent out from the Capital City race to Jared's children, George and Ellen. So I got that mailed off yesterday after got all the dust settled and everything. So happy to get those done. Reached out to another lady that we've talked to before whose husband passed away recently with left behind 2 kids. So while I was getting those checks written, I reached out to her. It's been, about a month or so has passed, so I kind of want to give her some time to, get her affairs and stuff in order before I brought all this stuff up. So I just reached out yesterday and said, hey, just wanted to touch base with you. Whenever you're ready, I'd love to sit down and have coffee and kind of follow up with what we talked about briefly at the visitation. So I think we're going to do that next week. Not just for the scholarship stuff, but also just what do you guys need right now? What is there something that we can do as a community to help, with your kids or with, just whatever the situation is. So, and I was just adamant, like, this isn't pressing, this isn't time pressing or anything like that. Whenever you're ready, if it's a month, if it's next week, like, I just wanted to tell you this now before I forgot and got busy and just, it fell by the wayside because it is something that, I feel like we need to do as a community to see that, this community can do a lot if we get together on certain issues,
Check in on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how it used to work.
Yeah.
You don't need the government doing it for you.
No.
No. So use your community, guys. Your community is, it's not going to be the federal government that comes and saves you. It's going to be your neighbors to your left, to your right, people that are in your neighborhood or family, friends that live in the community as well. So, in times of strife, lean to people like that. Don't be expecting the government to do it for you because if you guys aren't aware, the government doesn't do a lot of things great. So I don't think that's one of those things that you should probably be leaning on them to assist you through.
Yes.
I'll say that as nicely and as politely as I can. But
we'll leave it.
In our discussion before we started recording, we were talking about the IRS. So I'm already a little hot on that because I've talked to them 4 separate times and was assured that my issue, that it's not on my end, but it's on their end, it's a clerical issue, would be squared away. And it's 4 months later and it's still not squared away. And there's no direct line to call. So here we are.
God bless America.
Here we are.
It's the best place to live in the world. Oh, we do have a good. Speaking of friends, this week I had a 3-year anniversary of my good friend, Mr. Chris Wood, since he left us, and ever since these last, I can't believe it's been 3 years.
It's crazy. I still remember.
But in the meantime, another suicide happened over the weekend. A 13-year-old girl in California committed suicide. 13-year-old.
California, the state, or
California, Missouri? Yeah, so local families, local community, next door, type of thing. So I don't know. I keep having the discussion of how it's possible to stop this, but maybe I'm talking to the wrong people about it. I need to be talking to the people actually that need to have this conversation. But we kind of put this podcast out, so maybe this is a conversation that you're avoiding and don't want to have, or don't know who to have it with. Start listening to this, and me and Matt, and we have friends that go through this. Reach out to us if you're afraid to reach out to anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, and the stories we tell guys, these aren't made up stories. These are people that we know personally, directly. You know, we know their families. We've spent time with them. All of this is authentic and just what's happening around our area. Like, we're not reaching what's going on in St. Louis or Kansas City or around the country or whatever. Like, this is just happening right here in Jefferson City or the surrounding area, mid-Missouri area. So, just some things that, as a parent, you need to be more involved in what your kids are looking at on their phones. Are your kids old enough to need a phone? And be honest with yourself. Do they need a phone? Well, they were going to be left out of what?
Of what?
Of what? So again, do we need the government to come in and regulate who's on social media, what ages we're doing? You're a parent. You have to be the authority.
You are your own government.
You have to be the authority. You're the government of your house. You don't need the government that doesn't know anything about you, that doesn't know your first name, that doesn't know your kids' names, to tell you how to raise your kids. So first thing is, parents, you're the ultimate decider of what happens in your household. And if you don't have the courage to stand up to a 12-year-old daughter that's going through some changes, and maybe she's got some attitude, they're kids. They don't understand the long-term effects of what this stuff does to you. And for me, I've never been happier being off of social media. Like, I don't even recognize anymore that I'm not on it, because I don't spend time, I wonder what people that I've never met before are doing out and whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, what am I doing right now today in my community to make my life, my community better? And I haven't seen too many people solve that through Facebook.
And now it's just as bad as TV. Like, everything is ads and commercials fake. Yeah. Ads, commercial fake. Ads, commercial fake. Maybe you'll see a friend. Maybe you'll see a real post.
Maybe, but more, if I do get on there to look for something or trying to find a contact name or, whatever, I'll scroll for a couple minutes and just all I see is ads. All I see is ads. Like, there's not a single person that I recognize that I'm friends with, that's popping up. So, biggest thing with that, guys, is, your kids aren't going to be missing out on as much as they might try and convince you that they're going to miss out on by not having a phone, not being on social media. It forces people to communicate with real people,
And I've been on, should we pause?
We'll pause for a second. All right, sorry about that.
And we're back.
We had a garage door knocker, so we had to check and make sure it wasn't anything too pressing. But anyways, we're back.
Yes, parents, you govern the house, and then show your kids what you value. We value safety and love, family, and safety. With my daughter right now, we looking back at pictures, like they're on docks with
all the life jackets,
life jackets. And now when she's on her own, she's doing life jackets because we value safety, and we value your life. You're too young, so now that she's out on her own, she's like, oh, that's why my parents always told us this, because da 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 da. And she's like, well, they're not wearing. Oh, well, my parents did tell me to wear it, so I got to wear it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it worked.
Well, and again, too, it's like, I don't know, it's just parents, you can't just tell the kids one thing and then you do something different. You have to live what you're saying to them, because they are sponges, and whether you think they're watching or not, they're always watching. They're always downloading information from what mom does, what dad does. Well, dad says I can't be on social media, but that's all he does when he gets home is he just scrolls through Instagram or whatever. You can't just say it and just not follow through with what you're asking of your kids. Like, the least you can do is, if you're going to say that you can't do this, explain why, and then also lead by example. Those are the things that kids will learn from much easier. And you may get the whys, why at the initial, but again, you answer those questions enough times, they're going to stop asking why, and they're just going to do. So, that's...
And social media, I think I joined Facebook in 2005. Because we needed the college email to get in there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And my buddy he was going to USC at the time, so dude, check out this app. It's better than MySpace.
Oh, yeah, MySpace.
So we joined it in 2005, so we are now 2026. It's got 21 years of my information.
Yeah, things you like,
It just
things you
loves
don't like,
me. It just
things
knows
you
me
comment
better
on.
than, yeah. It knows when I log in, when I log out. It knows when I'm on there at 3 a.m. on Marketplace,
Yeah.
shopping for a dining table or see if there's any dining table. That's what I was doing last night. But it just knows so much. And a buddy of mine just got to get rid of. I don't think I have a problem with social media because I'm fine just putting it away. But there are people that are like hooked, like you
Yeah.
said, they're hooked.
It's easy to do. I was hooked watching
Yeah.
golden retriever videos for 13 minutes at a time. Like, seems harmless, but you watch 3 of those in a row, an hour of your life's gone. You
And
know?
then 13 minutes turns into 31 minutes, turns
Yeah.
into blah, blah, blah,
Trust
blah.
me, I saw the writing on the walls. I'm like, this is a problem.
So he ended up, all right, he got 2 phones. One has all the social media apps, and this one is just text messages and contacts. You know, and it's like, oh, that's not a bad idea to leave that phone at home, plugged in, whenever. You'll learn to get away from it. You'll
Yeah.
learn how much you don't need it. I did see another stat that younger siblings are now asking for just flip phones,
Yeah.
not these
Honestly,
not smartphones.
if I could get a flip phone that just had a keyboard to type,
Oh, the Razr, man, they still have it.
man, I've gotten real close to
T9,
just taking it all
oh
in.
no, the Blackberries. Did you ever have Blackberry?
Oh yeah, the BlackBerry was
BlackBerry
one
had
of
the
my
whole keyboard.
favorites, dude. I wish we could go back to those hands down. Those were great. But anyways, that's where I'm at with the smartphones, quote unquote.
And even I was talking to a friend of mine. Shout out to Seattle, Washington. She is like, man, I'm back on these dating sites, and it is terrible out here. She just turned 42, but it's back to if you are in the dating scene now. Like, do you ask somebody up front, like, hey, what are your values? Hey, have you handled your trauma yet? And then now we can now we can see if we can continue or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The dating site thing, it's I've tried it a few different times just throughout, and I've never had any kind of success, period, like at all. So for me, all it was a waste of money. You know, you put in all your filters, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for, all that, and like every week it would just be like, what did you guys not get about my filters? Like, you know, everything I'm saying I don't want. Like, everybody's got, you know, double fisting, you know, 4 beers in each hand, and they're at a party. You know, I'm like, no, not what I was even remotely looking for.
We don't
or
care. Just
interested
keep
in.
scrolling.
Yeah. So, anyways, honestly, I think the more authentic way, and obviously I'm not a great person to speak on this since I am single and not have had any luck with the dating sites or anything like that. I feel like just to be more organic, you're gonna need to meet people in person. You know, meeting people on the internet. I mean, maybe it works for some people, but it certainly hasn't worked for me. And yeah, so I feel like it needs to be more organic. You need to meet people outside where they're at, or you know, it's gonna be more organic that way.
I'm hanging out with a lot of young people and they're dating, engaged, and all that stuff. And I'm like, are you asking these questions? And do you know this? And they're like, no, we've just been dating for a long time.
Yeah.
So we're getting married.
Just going
It's
through
like,
the
oh,
process. The next thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Go deeper.
Yeah.
Value. And even I did that exercise with my team yesterday, and it was pretty cool seeing where my agents are at, where my team members are at, and who I surround myself where they're at. Sal, shout out to Sal. He put pay off my mom's debts is what he would do first.
Yep.
And then pay off his siblings' debts. And then he was like number 6 down the line. Like then it's me.
Those are selfless acts, right
Yeah,
there.
and he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
So good job to those parents.
Shout out Sal, man. You're much
Dude,
further
if
ahead
that's
of the
what-
game than I
yeah.
ever was at your age.
If you're thinking like that at 19, I don't care money wise.
Sky's the limit, Sal.
Yep.
Sky's the limit.
On his way. But that's kind of what I've been really thinking about. I know we always reach out to each other what topics are at, but seeing where my values are at this time in life, and the friends you value, and how your support circle is.
Yeah. Well, and again, how often do you revisit those? Is this a
Yeah.
once a year thing? Is this once every 5 years?
No,
Because
that's-
for me, I'm about every quarter, I'm reanalyzing like who I have in my foxhole. You know, if it's a good fit, bad fit, or people getting off the path, you know, I always reassess that and just see where I'm at, see where my friends are at, see where my family's at, and just if I can help, step in, intervene, I'll try and do that to reel them back in if I got some friends or family that's getting a little out too far over their skis or anything like that. So it's, you know, you got to protect those around that are closest to you and then work your way out. You know, family, friends, all that stuff, coworkers, employees, employers, whatever it might be. So just trying to be the best person, best version of yourself today, and wake up tomorrow. If you do, get another chance to do better.
I always have had trouble with frugal people, you know, and it's like, but now I'm understanding it, because it's like, man, like they count every penny, they count every dime, and they'll drive until like literally there's no cloth left on the seat, let alone the tires falling off. Like, it's the different tires, but the cloth is like they're just sitting on the foam and metal. But they have a bunch of money in savings, and that's what they value.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know what taught them to do that, but how they value that. It's so, I would have a very different life if I wasn't a spender.
Yeah, agreed.
Because of what I value and what I think I value now. But having the children now, there's nothing else in my life that's more important. Well, Stacy first, family, and then my kids.
Yeah.
Because it was my choice to bring them to this world. God gave us them, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very easy now to go about my day, and how my day's gonna go, and how I'm gonna feel throughout the day. I'm gonna respond to. I've gone to response more than react.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just lost right there. Just like your dad.
Trust me.
When you were telling me that story, I could just think of Inside Out, the Disney movie, or one of the cartoon movies where it's all the emotions, but the little anger guy, and when he hits the anger, the flame just shoots out his head.
Yeah, we had anger
Mr.
problems
Chin.
growing up. Me as well. I'm just like him, but I am in a much more peaceful place in my life than I ever have been before. So I don't go directly to anger or just being mad at myself, or, you know, using hate as fuel to make me do the things I need to do every day. I do it from a place of love today, kindness, patience, which is all things I never thought I'd be able to get a grip on, you know, and I'm not saying I'm great at it or perfect, but a lot better today than I ever was growing up.
And that's who you surround yourself with now.
Yeah. Yep. It's how you talk about yourself. It's how you think about yourself, who you surround yourself with. It all makes an impact, guys. So take a deep look, see who you're surrounding yourself with. And if you need to start getting some separation from some people that aren't doing you any good in the world or in your life, do what's best for you. Do what's best for you. So
I like
anything
that.
else? I think that's a good one, brother.
Yeah, we could wrap up on that.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Any questions or comments, please hit us up in that comment section. Get a lot of good feedback from you guys. If you want a topic that we want to talk about that we haven't discussed yet, please let us know. We're here to please y'all. So let us know.
Thank you for not being perfect.
We're not either.
Peace.
Peace.